Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we are diving into Go Structs, one of the most powerful tools in Go for organizing and structuring your data. Let's dive into it. In Go, a struct is a composite data type. Think of it as a container that groups together related data. Unlike arrays or slices, which hold multiple values of the same data type, structs let you combine different data types into a single entity. Let's look at how it works. So you first type, then you give a name to your struct. So let's say person. Then we identify it as struct over here. Then we bring our curly braces. Then good. Then inside it we give the data, the values and the data types of the content of our struct, which is the person. So we will need the name of the person, right? Good. Then we will identify it as a string. It is going to take a string. Good. Now we proceed. We also give age to the person. So, and we will identify the age as an integer. So we add our integer to it here. Then one last, then let's say the person also has an email. Then we identify the email as a string. Good. So now we have initiated our struct as a person. We've called it a person over here. Now let's see how we can use it in our function. So now let's get into the function. So func main. Good. So inside our function, we will create an instance of the person struct that we have declared above. So let's say person, then we say that this person variable that we are declaring is actually an instance of the person struct that we have created above. So we bring our struct over here, then we bring our curly braces, then we come and define the parameters in the person struct that we have declared. So in the case we had a name inside it, and we will give it, let's say, John Doe. Then we will again look at it. We also have an age over there, so we will give it age, and we will say 33. Then we will say email, which is part of it, and let's say it's also a string, so don't forget in your quotes. So let's say john@gmail.com. Good. So one thing that you should not forget in creating an instance for a struct, after every value that you give the struct according as you have declared it. So when we're declaring it, we say the name is a string, so you can't give a name over here and give it an integer. It will give you an error. And after every data value that you give when you are creating the instance, don't forget to bring your comma. Then each and every one of them, you bring a comma. Good. Now let's look at how to print our variable person on the console to see how it works. So we call our formatting package, then we do a print line, and we call the person variable that we have created over here. Are we together? Good. Now let's run our program to see what comes. Now we see it over here, John Doe 33 and john@gmail.com. So the name over here, the age over here, the email over here. We defined a person struct over here with the three fields, the name, the age, and the email. Then what we again did was to create an instance of this person struct. So that is what we did it over here in the function, and we gave the values of all of them, and to also correspond to the data type that we have declared in the struct, and we print it out. So struct actually help us to bundle data logically. So imagine using the person struct instead of juggling separate name, the age, and the email variables. So struct help us to bundle them all together logically, different data types. Good. Now let's see how to access and modify the fields in our struct. Now, once you have a struct, how do you work with it? And how do you work with its fields? Let's break it down. Good. So let's clean this up and create a different struct over here. And let's call it car. Okay, let's say that is a struct. Then inside it, we will say that the car has a brand name. So let's say brand, and you identify it as a string. And we also say that it will have a year that it was built. So let's say year, and that will also be an integer. Good. Now in our main function, we create an instance of the car over here. Then we say car, then inside it we give the values for the parameters of the struct. So let's say the car has a brand Toyota. Then don't forget to bring your comma. Then the year it was built to, you will say 2025. Then also don't forget your comma. Good. Now let's see how to access the fields. Now we do print format. We bring our format package, then print line. Then if we are accessing only the brand name, so let's say we are only accessing the brand name over here, then we will just have to say car dot the brand, as simple as that. Good. Then you bring your comma over here after that, and there is, let's add the year to it also over here. So let's say the year over here, then accessing only the year also separately over here, we will say year. Then good. So in this case, we are accessing separately the brand name and the year separately. You see that? So now let's print it on the console to see. Good. Now you see it over here, brand Toyota and year 2025. So you don't forget, in accessing the separate values of a struct, you just first call the initialization variable that we initiated over here, and we call the instance of the struct over here. Then if you're accessing only the brand, then you do dot brand. Then if you're accessing only the year, then you do dot year. Good. Now, one thing that you are supposed to also remember is that struct fields are mutable. They are mutable by default. They are meaning that you can actually update them directly. So think of struct as a neat way to group and manage data logically, much better than using multiple standalone variables. Good. Now let's jump into nested structs. Nested structs. Good. But what if you want to nest the struct? For example, a person with an address. Let's check it out and see how it works. Okay, let's clean it over here. Then we will first write a new struct. Let's say address. Then we say it's a struct. Then in our curly braces, then we say that the address will has a city which will be a string. Then it will also have a state, which is a string. Then it also has a state, which will also be a string. Good. Now, then we also declare another struct, which is the person. Good. And we say that it's also a struct. Then in our curly braces, we will say the name of the person, which is a string. Then we will say the age of the person, which is an integer. Then we will say the address. So you see how nested struct works. So we will say address, which is the address struct that we have declared above here. So in the address field over here, we will again write address. Now you see that. Good. So this is a nested one. So we are actually calling the address inside the person struct from the address struct. Good. Now let's see how to use it in our function. So in our function, we will create an instance of the person struct. So you will say person, then person, then inside it, we will say that that person's name, okay, it's a string and he's called James Smith. Okay, you bring your comma, then you say the age of James is 55. Then you bring your comma. Good. Then we say the address of James is from the address struct. So we will again call the address struct inside our person instance that we have created over here. Good. So inside the address struct over here, we will, inside the curly braces, we will again give the values for the address, which has city over here, and we will say that the city is a string and it's called New York. Okay, then don't forget your comma. Then we'll say that the state also a string. You say NY. Okay, for New York. Good. Then at the end of the address instance that we have created within the person instruct over here, at the end of the curly braces, don't forget to bring your comma as well. Good. Now we are done with the nested struct. Then let's see how to print it on the console for us to see how it works. So let's bring our package over here. Then let's say that print line. Good. Then let's say we are printing the name of the person, so which will be person dot name. Good. That is it. Then let's say that we are also printing the city as well. So let's say that we are also printing the city of the person. The city is in the address. So let's see how that one also works. So city, and it will be the person dot the address, then dot the city. You see that over here. Good. Now let's print it on the console to see how that works. Good. Now we see it over here. Name James Smith and the city New York. So this is how you use nested struct. So a struct within a struct and how we call them. Good. Thank you very much. If you found this video tutorial helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a Golang tutorial. Drop a comment below with what topic you want me to cover next, maybe interfaces or concurrency or something else. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.